hips up to start. Back of our head, back of our shoulders, ribs and pelvis are flat on the mat. We've got that little bit of light underneath the back of our neck and our lumbar spine, our lower back. If you've got a cup of water balancing here between these two hip bones, it should be level. So it's a straight line from left to right, and it's a straight line from your two top hip bones to your pubic bone at the bottom. So rock around, find that. Head, neck and shoulders should be relaxed. Arms are flat on the mat by our sides. And we just start taking some slow, deep breaths and focusing on just being here and doing this for the moment, not worrying about anything else. As we breathe out, we're going to roll the pelvis towards us to press the lower back into the mat. And then we're going to breathe in to roll it back. Breathe it out, roll it toward us, in, to bring it back. And you'll start to feel your abdominal muscles, especially in the lower portion of your belly, working to roll that towards you. So you don't want to be pushing from the back of your legs or tensing up through your bottom, but you're actually trying to pull it towards you with a drawing in of your abs and then roll it back. On the next one, you're going to keep that roll going and then lift one bone at a time off the mat until we're in a shoulder bridge position. We'll take a breath in here. We'll breathe out, drop your chest first, so tail stays curled under, and roll to flat. Breathe in at the bottom, breathe out, tip your tailbone under first, and then roll on up. One part of the spine at a time. Collarbones are wide at the top for a breath in. Breathe out, drop the sternum down to the floor, roll the spine, and that back with that little bit of light. Next one, we'll lift the arms as well. So we breathe out to roll up. Look for any sticky spots, see if we can get a nice even curve. Breathe in, arms come up overhead. Breathe out, we roll down. Breathe in, the arms press into the mat. Breathe out, we roll up. When you're at the top, only take the arms as far as you can without compromising the spine or having to flare the ribs. So if you're tight through the sides of your body or your back, the arms may not touch the ground, and that's okay, so long as they're headed in that direction. They might only be up here on the diagonal. It's totally fine. As you set your spine down, try and put the bones as far away from your head as you can. Arms back down. We'll do one more. And then we're going to reverse the curl. So that was a pelvic curl. Arms come down as we breathe in, as we breathe out. We curl from the head end of the spine and reach for our heels. Come back down, breathe in at the bottom, breathe out, eyes look forward, head rotates, we reach long, take a breath in here to hold, and then breathe out to come down. Beautiful. Another. Breathe out, we hold, should be flat here, that cup of water hasn't spilled, and we roll back down. If you want to make it a little harder, interlace the fingers, pop them at the bottom of your head, lift, and come down. It might be easier for some to support the head, but what we want to make sure you're doing is just supporting the head, and what you're not doing is pulling yourself up with your arms or squeezing the elbows in. We want them wide in the peripherals. Beautiful. Another one. And down. Hands can swing back to the floor as we lift one foot up into tabletop, so shin parallel to the ceiling, and place the foot back down. Without anything moving, we pick the other foot up. These move nice and slow. We just set one foot down at a time, and then try not to feel the weight shift left and right. We heel toe that foot off the floor, back up, and down. Beautiful. A few more of these. So we're working on disassociating the hip or being able to move from that hip joint and just that hip joint without the pelvis needing to rock back and forth, up or down, left or right. It should be able to stay nice and stable using our core muscles, which is the front, sides and back of our trunk. On the next one, you're going to get a little movement, hands interlace back behind the head, and we're going to curl up to meet the knee and then place it down. Breathe out to curl up, breathe in to come down, and know it's slow. It's just a warm up. Things will get a lot more exciting later. We curl up, meet the knee, in and down, curl up. We've got one more on the other leg, and then we add to this with another layer. Beautiful. So the leg will continue to do the same thing. As we curl up, we're going to turn to meet that leg. Top rib, or bottom rib, is coming down to meet the top of the opposite hip, and then we let ourselves back on the mat. So we're twisting now and trying to fire up the sides of our waist. Elbows stay wide. You only want them in your peripherals. Beautiful. Pelvis should be nice and heavy on the mat. So it's tempting to twist that pelvis as we twist the upper body, but its job is to stay still while we move from the ribs, really. Feel them turn over to the side and then back down. Come up and over, down, one more to this side, up and over. Squeeze those ribs to that hip and down. Arms come out to the side. Palms can be up, keeps our shoulders rolled open. Knees are together, feet are together, and we're just going to drop them to one side and then the other, trying to keep the knees and ankles stacked. So you'll notice that my foot has to come off the floor and my hip picks up. I want my chest facing upwards at all times, which then makes my shoulders stay flat on the mat. On this one, I'm going to tip toward you and look back at my back arm. From there, the arm is going to come over my head and onto my hand. I'm now in a side lying position. Normally I would say grab yourself a cushion. You don't actually want one today because you're about to keep moving. From here, the arm rolls back over into that open book position, looking at the back arm. We pick the knees up and roll them. Now I'm looking at the other back arm. Arm's going to swing down around my body, up over my head, and back in that position. I'm going to look to it and turn. It's going to come down around my body, back over towards my back hand, and then I'm going to switch those knees to the other side. Looking at the hand, down, around, up. So I'm getting a twist through both the bottom of my body when I tip those arms, and then the top of my body as I rotate. Last one to this side, just getting everything nice and warm and twisted, and then we roll back to center. I'm going to pick those feet up into a tabletop, both of them. Knees and ankles are glued together, and I'm drawing in through my inner thighs and up through my pelvic floor and my abs. So the sensation is everything's coming in and up. Palms can be down to create some support, and I breathe in to tilt my knees to the camera, out to come back to center. Again, chest is up, shoulders stay flat, and I use the sides of my core, so my oblique muscles, to draw that leg back in, to wrap it around, so I'm getting that twist. Knees have to stay together so hip bones can pick up. We'll go one more to each side. You can challenge yourself, see how far you can go without that shoulder picking up, but make sure the whole thing is on the floor, shoulder blade and all. comes back to center, feet come down. From here, we're just going to stretch our hamstrings quickly. If you have a band or a pair of stockings or a towel or something, you can loop around your foot to hold here. Sometimes that's more comfortable, but because I didn't prepare anyone, you're just going to hang on to the back of your thigh. If that's too easy, you can slide to the knee. If that's too easy, you can slide to the calf. As we breathe out, trying to draw that leg in towards us a little more each time. Allowing our body to relax into it. One more big breath. And then we just scissor the legs to change. This leg is a lot tighter for me. We can point and flex in this position. You can feel that stretch all the way down the back of your leg, from the bottom of your calf all the way to where that that hamstring inserts at the top. Remembering our deep breaths. Couple more. Leg draws towards us as we breathe out. Beautiful, really good. And then we may as well leave this leg up and let the arms out for our leg circles. Now this is one of the skills that we learned before, where the hip is able to move and the pelvis and core stay still. We just draw little circles. We go 5 one way, without that hip swaying. Beautiful, 4 and 5. And then we alternate back the other way. Trying to keep everything nice and still. So if your circles can be really big while keeping everything still, go for it. If they need to be tiny, like entree plate sized, they can. We will switch legs. We start by coming across the body. You breathe in as you go down. Out as that leg comes up. In to go across and down. Out to come up, and you want to make the circles even. So you're not drawing an egg or a square. It has to be a nice, even circle. You want to come up as far as you go down, out as far as you come in. Reverse. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe in. Breathe in. Breathe out. Doing well. 2 more. Last one. Lovely. Leg comes down. Arms overhead. We breathe in. Start to look forward. Breathe out. Peel ourselves off. And lean forward here. Breathe in. Expand the back of your ribs. Breathe out. Roll down. Just a few roll-ups here. We roll down with control, so each vertebra touches the mat one at a time. Breathe in at the bottom as we start to look forward. Breathe out. Pick yourself up, little bit by little bit. Another big breath in as we reach the body forward. Breathe out, and we tilt slowly, slowly. One bone at a time. See how much you can control yourself. Even when you get to the bottom, don't just plop your head down, but gently rest it. Arms come over. One more here. Breath in to lift the arms and the chest. Breath out. Over we go. Hold here for a second. Take a few breaths. Try and stretch the back out. Shoulders away from our ears as we reach forward. And then we roll on back. Down we come. Arms are just by our sides now. We're ready for our 100. So I'll give them to you in levels again. We're going to breathe in for 5 pumps of our arm and out for 5 pumps of our arm. 10 times makes it 100. I always lose count in these videos, but we'll give it a go. And if you need to stop sooner than me or you want to go a little longer, you can. Our first one is just to come into our chest lift. So where we curl up, we're nice and long through the back of the neck. We're not crushing our imaginary piece of fruit or our Swiss ball here. And we breathe in and out. 2, 3, 4, 5. In and out. Next one's to lift the feet. And out. And out. Or we can stretch one leg out
roll today. If it's too easy, both legs can be up, and then you just lower them to find the position that works for you. Keep pumping. Keep that head up. If your neck is sore, you can relax it down. Drop the ribs through the front of the body. Pump from the back of the arms. Almost there. In, 2, 3, 4, 5, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5.
Curl back in, rest your head. Good. Just rotate the neck, left and right. Give it a little stretch. We're straight into our abs here. So, we are going to start with a double leg lower and lift combination. You can keep the head down if you need to for today. Otherwise, hands into legs behind the head. And we lift the chest, drop the ribs through the floor. First step is to tap those toes. Then we extend the legs. Tap the toes, extend the legs. Good. Keeping an eye on that imaginary cup of water. I guess you could always use a real one if you wanted to, that we don't tip it off. So if your top abdominal layer, your rectus abdominals, which are the ones that you can see in people, are popping out, we end up with this long line down the front that pops out the front of our body. If that's happening to you, I want you to try and engage your lower abdominals by drawing your belly button to your spine. Spine is not touching the mat at the bottom. And also trying to draw those two front hip bones together in the middle. I know they don't actually touch, but if you imagine that they do, that would be the sensation of trying to turn on your transversus. Okay, from here, we're going to go into a single leg stretch, so just one at a time, and back, out, and back. My arms are out to the side, but if you're going to add in some coordination, you hold on to the leg closest to you, and then switch, and then switch. The hand on the same side of the body as the leg holds my shin so that my ankle doesn't cross my midline and I'm in good alignment. Good. Last two. Last one. Extend that leg. Give yourself a little rest for a quick second and lay down. We're going to climb up the leg and then come back down. So, starting at the bottom, we grab hold, breathe out to lift, come up the leg, and then hands come back down to roll ourselves to the mat. We try and do it with control. Less momentum, more control. Oop, mine didn't want to go. Bottom leg. Wow, I'm really not doing well at this today. Bottom leg presses into the mat. There you go. I had to cheat a little bit. And roll on down. I'm very sore today. Your body may or may not want to do this for you. That's okay. If it doesn't, you just keep trying like I did. We trade legs. Hold on at the bottom. Really draw those abs in and up. Pull on the leg. And the top leg's going to push away from the hands as you climb up to give yourself something to pull on. Because if the leg is just limp, what will happen to you is what happened to me, and you'll get stuck at the bottom. If you've got tight hamstrings, you can bend the leg off a little bit and then just kind of hold on as you get there. Beautiful. Leaving this leg bent in now, hands come behind our head, and the twist we did at the beginning comes back. We breathe out as we turn toward the leg, remembering to keep the pelvis steady. In through center, out to go away. In through center, out to go away. And twist. And twist. Good. Last 3, 2, draw those abs in. 1, knees in, head down, hands down, feet down. Beautiful. Adjust yourself on your mat. I'm going backwards off mine. Now put the hands in a diamond position beneath our bottom. So they're just under your tailbone. You can feel the fleshy part of your bottom, but there shouldn't be any bones crushing down into your hands. Legs are going to come up. They can be straight or they can be bent off a little. This is the beginning of the roll over. We pick the legs up and roll them down. We pick the legs up, roll them down. So using your abdominals to create that little lift. So we kind of plank up and come down. It's going to take some momentum to get the lower body off the floor. Careful, head, neck and shoulders again should be relaxed. Hands are pressing down to help us. If yours just looks like this, that's okay. A little lift is better than nothing. And if you need to swing the legs a little for some help. But once we get up there, if we can slowly lower it down with control, that's better. We'll do one more. Nice work. And then we're just going to roll back up to stretch our spine out a little. So we're up on our sitting bones. Our feet are about mat width apart or just wider than our hips. And our hands are out in front of us. We breathe in to grow tall. We breathe out to peel our head, shoulders and ribs away from the wall behind us. I know there's not a wall behind me, but if there were, we breathe in at the bottom and we breathe out to roll back up. You should feel this stretching through the back. It won't be as efficient if you hinge at the hips. So if we just bend forward, what I want you to do is keep your pelvis where it is and try and imagine that the pelvis and the lower back are pressing away from you. So your abdominals have to work to push the lower part of your body back while the top part stretches forward. And we sit. Let's just do two more. Keep those ribs away from the hips if you can. So instead of just folding in half, we curl up and over. Beautiful. And up. One more big breath in. Get long before we go forward to create some space. Good. Breathe in here, let the back get wide. Head is down. And we roll back up. Feet slide together. Hands slide apart for our twist. Again, we breathe in, grow tall, get that spine long so it's got somewhere to go. And then twist. Breathe in, squeeze the air out as we turn. In through center, out to the side. Let's add a pulse in, out, in, out. Now as you come toward me the next time, that knee is going to slide in. So the twist that we felt before, the foot is going to slide toward us and back, slide toward us and back. I want both of the hip bones though facing forward. So as the leg slides, don't let the hip come back. Keep it pointing straight ahead. If you had headlights on those hip bones, they'd be shining at the wall. The next one, we add something different. You're going to twist to me and just slightly hover that leg off the floor and pop it down. So our hip flexors here are picking up. As we twist, there's just that little lift, trying to keep our back straight and our hips pressing forward. Reach that foot long. Last one. Hands down, scoot forward, roll down your mat. Beautiful, doing well, guys. We're going to bring our legs both up straight. If they don't like to be straight with your pelvis in neutral, so lower back still off the floor, like mine, they'll be on a slight angle. Depends how flexible you are. So my back is off the floor here. If I bring them up straight, I've instantly pressed my back into the floor, which I don't want. If it's too much weight, you can bend the knees off a little bit. We're going to do double leg circles. So we did the singles at the beginning. Now we're going to do both legs, which means they need to both come out away from one another, down, they meet back at the middle, they come up together, away from one another, down, meet back, come up. Keep that pelvis where it is. My circles are tiny, tiny. I can't get very far without that lower back pressing into the mat. So the challenge here is stabilizing the core and working with just stretching the hamstrings that I have while my hips are doing all that work. There's a lot going on. Let's reverse. We go down, around, up, and together. Beautiful. Keep breathing. I know I haven't cued your breathing on this one. You'll just go as far as you can and do what you can while you breathe. Good. 2 and 1. Hug them in, give yourself a stretch. Pull your lower back off the floor when you do this. And then we're going to pop the knees back to tabletop and arms out the way. We did our twist before, and now we add onto it. This is called a corkscrew prep. You're going to breathe in and bring your knees towards me. The legs are going to turn down. So see, my hips have lowered, my toes tap the floor. I then turn back to the other side and come across. So if my knees were drawing something on the roof, it would be the capital letter D. They come around, down, around, and straight back. So this is the straight part. As they drop and dip, they draw a semicircle and then a straight line. Straight line, semicircle, straight line. Good. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in. And my lower back hasn't touched the floor at all. I'm rolling around and I'm coming back. You can try it with straight legs or straighter legs, depending on how you're feeling. Around. When the legs are straight, the toes won't touch the ground, but they will then angle where that capital letter gets drawn. One more back around. Beautiful. And give your legs another little squeeze there. Beautiful. We're going to pop the legs down and we're going to stretch those hip flexors back out. Oh, that should feel good because they've been working hard for those last few exercises. Big stretch of the hip flexors at the front of the body. So we're opening up and trying to get that angle completely flat. Beautiful. Couple more presses. So here the knees draw in together. So my inner thighs are working and I'm not flaring the legs. My hip bones are coming up into the sockets. Sorry, my leg bones are coming up into my hip sockets. My lower back's not really doing anything, it's getting relaxed and my core is working. Couple more of these. And then we're gonna layer some more exercises on. Beautiful, come down. One knee stays bent, the other is now out long. I just want you to, again, lower back floating slightly off the floor. You can pop your fingers under and check that your posture's good and neutral. That leg's gonna kick up and come down. Kick up and come down. Let's flex the foot up, point the toes down. Flex the foot up, point the toes down. Flex, point, flex, point, flex. Leave it up this time. Can we press the hips up to stretch that hip flexor at the front with the leg in the air? Straight up, straight down. Straight up, straight down. Beautiful. One more, and then when you're here, that leg's going to go down and up, down and up, down and up. Hands are going to lift off the floor. This is an extra challenge. Don't do this if you don't feel safe. We lower and lift, lower and lift, lower and lift. Hands come down, hips come down, leg comes down. Straighten the other leg away. We are going to flex to raise, point to press, flex to raise, point to press. Beautiful. Couple more. Just getting that leg moving. So it's a kick up and then a press down. A kick up and then a press down. We kick it up and hold. If we can, the leg stays straight up as we press. If not, you're going to cross that ankle and give it something to rest on. Beautiful. 2 and 1. If the leg's still up, you're going to drop and lift here. If you can't keep it up, it's just a toe tap with a bent knee. And then the arms come up, and we're going to try a few integrations of this. So arm and leg at the same time, really pushing that opposite hip. You want your hips level. Last one. Arms come down, body comes down, leg comes down. Well done, guys. Bring them in. Have a little stretch. Beautiful. And we roll onto our side. Hope we're doing all right. from here. And have a bit of fun. Before we get into it, I'm gonna make sure that you know you don't wanna have yourself too close to a wall behind you because we'll be kicking the leg and rolling. And so you're gonna need at least a leg distance away from the wall to make sure you're safe. We're gonna start on the front edge of our mat today. I know it's normally the back. Head is down on our arm. Knees are bent in at about a 45. So my feet are even with the mat. Actually, let's bring them right forward. Ignore my last instruction. So shins are parallel to me. Bottom leg stays bent, top leg reaches behind us. If we were against a wall, it would be the same line up, same alignment as laying on our mat. This top foot's just gonna dangle. I know you can't see me so well down the bottom end, but we drop and lift. And we're just gonna do 10 of these, making sure the hips are facing forward, top hip point straight up, waist is lifted off the floor, so top leg reaches long. And we'll do a few more of these until we start to feel the hip warm up. Good. Carry on. Let's do 3, 2, and 1. Leave that leg at hip height. It comes forward, drops down, comes up, goes back. Forward, drop, up, and back. Good. Forward, drop, up, and back. Continue on. Let's do 3, back, 2, back, and 1. Same exercise. When we get to the front, we're going to now lift lower and back. Forward, lift lower, back. Forward, lift lower, back. Beautiful. Just 3 more of these. And back. Perfect. Forward, lift lower, back. Forward, lift lower, back. Bottom leg's going to come in to meet the top leg. Now the knees are going to bend to that 45. Feet are in line with your bottom, so if you need to check that, have a little look. Ankles stay together, knees stay together. Pick the feet up. So I've internally rotated my top leg. It's pointing at the floor. And I'm just going to open and close my knees for 10, 9, 8, beautiful, 7, 6, hips probably getting warm, 5, 4, 3, doing well, 2, and 1. I now want you to straighten both legs out. I'm going to prop the head up on our arm. Neck shouldn't be sore. So if it's really not working for you, you can bring it on back down. But if possible, we come up. Top hands in front. Top leg lifts back to hip height. I know it's getting a little bit burny. The leg comes back. I'm going to demonstrate. You'll need to watch and then you'll have a go yourself. As it swings forward, I let myself roll onto my mat. That leg comes up. The other leg follows it. Bottom leg has now hit the mat. I've rolled over. It comes back behind me. And then it swings around. It's called a fan kick. And you don't have to get it right, and it might not be pretty, and I might not even stick it, but we're just gonna have some fun and give it a go. So, leg lifts up, swings back to prepare. We kick forward, around, and over. Forward, around, and over. So this is our leg kick. Hand comes down in front to catch us. If you're really good at this, you can leave the top elbow up. So this is our normal side kick, but with some added fun. This is why you need it to be further away from the wall than normal. Last one. And then you can stay on this side while I swivel around and we'll do the other leg. So, come back into your side lying with the knees pulled up. Head can be down. If you need a cushion or a pillow under it, grab that. Top leg is out straight. Hips are even, top hips pointing up, foot's reaching away so that our waist is long. We just lift lower. Kneecap faces straight forward. And my toes are kind of hanging down limply here. We don't go too far. You don't want that distance between your hip and rib to crunch in. So it's a small movement of the leg. keeping the bottom waist lifted. We're just up and down for a few more until we start to feel that leg heat up. It reaches away and down. Beautiful. 3, 2, and 1. Staying at hip height, it's going to come forward, drop down, come up and back. Forward, drop down, up and back. Good. Nice. Keep going here. Beautiful. 2 more of these ones, and then we change it to the lift lower. Last one of those. It comes forward, it lifts, lowers, and draws back. Forward, lift, lower, draw back. That's 2. Let's get to 8. Forward, lift, lower, back. 3 and 4. Keep breathing. 5. Make sure those hips haven't moved forward or back. 6. Doing well, just 2 to go. 7. Last one. 8. Nice work. Knees come together. Feet slide back so that they are in line with our bottom. Adjust yourself if you need to. Ankles and knees are stacked. We lift up so that the top leg internally rotates, and we lift for 10. 9. 8. Beautiful. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. And 1. You know what's next? We're going to do some more of those fan kicks. We'll just try a couple on this side. So, leg lifts, comes back behind us, and then swing and around. Swing and around. Good. Over to the side and back. Over to the side and back. Just having a little bit of fun. Here we go. One more there. And I'm going to roll straight onto my tummy for the next part of the series. So, coming face down, I've got my hands stacked under my head. I've got a little cushion for my forehead. My pubic bone, so right at the bottom front of my pelvis, is pressed into the mat, and my core is drawing away from the floor. So I'm lifting up to support my lower back. Take a few deep breaths. You want to take advantage of the back of your body having enough space to spread out and breathe. And then we're just going to do a few back extensions. So swing those arms around to our side. We breathe in and look forward. Nose is a plane off the runway. And we come down. So the bottom of my ribs haven't left the mat. I'm reaching my fingers back and I'm coming forward slightly. I'm not cranking my neck and looking straight up. So we want all the curves and all the lines in our body to be nice and smooth for this one. There's no sharp angles. We breathe in and lift. We breathe out and lower. Doing well. Breathe in, lift. Breathe out, lower. Breathe in. Breathe out. And then on the next one, we're going to stay up. Now, if this hurts your lower back, if you're feeling it too much, you can come on back down for the next part. If you're able to stay up with your pubic bone pressed down and your waist lifting away from the floor, we're going to stay here and just lift the legs. Beautiful. And keep them going one at a time. Now the leg isn't lifting too high, it's lifting away. My arms are starting to feel that little bit of burn because they're staying up. I haven't done anything with them, they're not going anywhere, they're just staying level with my body. If you are comfortable with those legs lifting one at a time, you can pick them both up slightly and start to go for a little swim. Arms stay up. If you want to make it harder, circle them around to the front and the arms can join in. I know the camera angle is not great, but arms are swimming. If not, they'll come back. Around 3, 2, 1. If the back needs a break, you come on down. If not, arms are going to stay here and we're just going to clap the feet together. So turn in your hip sockets so that your knees are trying to face outwards, your heels are trying to face in, and we clap. Just knock them together slightly. Good. Heels are touching. Nothing else is. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Everything comes down, hands to floor, and I press myself back. Beautiful. You get a little more of a back stretch here if you press your pelvis down into your heels, and then you try and bring your belly button up towards your spine and stretch out that lower back. Beautiful. Separate the knees a little and stay in it to get a stretch to the front of the hips as well. Almost there, guys. Going into our plank series, and then we stand. Beautiful. Rocking forward. Knees are in line with hips. Hands are in line with shoulders. And if you look down, you shouldn't be able to see your feet. They haven't turned in or out. They're perfectly even and they're invisible if you're looking down. All we're going to do from here, step a foot back, step the other foot back, and hold a plank. I'm going to shimmy forward for you, just so you've got a little bit of a better shot of my feet. From here, my shoulders are staying perfectly still, my chest is facing the floor. My ankles roll off to one side, and then they roll back. They roll off, and they roll back. I've got a little bit of slippery mat, so you may have to readjust your feet. But hopefully, shoulders stay facing forward, feet roll to the side. It's that same twist from before. So we feel that twist through the side of our body. Twist, up, twist, up. I know I look like I'm going for a walk, because my feet are sliding down the mat. Good. A couple more of those. Twist and back, twist and back, twist and back, and then we stay. You can come down for a rest if you need one. If you don't, we're going to go straight into our side plank. So the feet are going to twist. They're already in the side plank for us, and then we just rotate open and hold that plank. Let's hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, good. Hips up, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hand comes down, twist the feet, readjust, twist the feet into the next side, hand directly under shoulder, we swing open, and we hold. Beautiful. Hips right up, neck is long, arm reaches to the ceiling. Let's go for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hand down, roll back over, come down for a little rest. Beautiful. From there, quickly onto our bottoms. And we're going to just roll it out. So, feet come up, hands are behind our knees. My legs aren't together this time. They're actually separated a little bit. I'm going to hold onto the back of my knees, tilt my tailbone under, and as I tilt, I look between my thighs, my back is curved, I roll, and I pause, and then I bring my chest up to stop myself. So tailbone rolls under, head looks down, we're in a curve, and then as we come up, I try and straighten the top half of my spine out to pause myself. Let's do 3 more. This is called an open leg rocker. This is the prep version. One day we'll be doing it with our legs straight up, but for now, we'll stay with that bend. Chest comes up to put on the brakes. Oh, toes went down. Try and hold on. Bottom of our spine stays curved. We look up, last one, and we can stand. Use this one to stand up. Beautiful. Just some quick calf raises and a balance to cool us off, and we're done, everyone. So, we're going to raise and lower. Raise and lower, making sure our body is nicely aligned. I'm going to turn onto my side. My head's right on my shoulders, ribs right on my hips. And I'm trying not to lift forward or lean forward as I lift. Add some arms in. Arms come up, arms come down. Beautiful. We'll just do 10, 9, flipping my palms as I go, 8, palms split halfway. That's it. Strengthening our ankles, working on our balance. Core draws up to keep us stable. Those ankles are level. They're not swinging in or out. I've lost count. Let's do 3 more. Beautiful. Last 2. Last 1. And on this one, as the arms come down, the head tilts forward, we roll off our pelvis down to reach for the floor. Shake it out a little, let the head hang. As you come up, pelvis tucks under, abs lift us into standing, shoulders roll around, and we're done. Thanks so much, guys. It was lovely to have you. Hope you enjoyed your class.